Star Wars is amazing. The films, the TV shows, the comics and novels, most of it is pretty fantastic. But you know what might be the best of all? Star Wars video games. For decades now, different studios and publishers have been crafting immersive experiences in the galaxy far, far away, giving players a license to live out their Star Wars fantasies in a wide variety of different genres. So synonymous is Star Wars with the medium that it could feasibly lay a claim to being as much a beloved video game franchise as any IP that started out in gaming to begin with. But what are the best Star Wars games of all? Spanning several decades, console generations, genres, and studios, it's a bit of a tricky task narrowing down just the best 10. Which is why I'm going to attempt to do that exactly now. Obviously. I'm Ewan, this is WhatCulture Gaming, and here are the 10 best Star Wars video games of all time. The Force is with us. WhatCulture Star Wars is our brand new channel dedicated to all things Star Wars. We'll have all the usual lists, features, and news, plus there'll be ups and downs for all the latest shows and movies, and coverage on Star Wars novels and comics. Subscribe today via whatculture.com/Star Wars or search WhatCulture Star Wars on YouTube. Number 10. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2: The Sith Lords. Although criticised for not being as good as the other Star Wars game that's obviously going to feature on this list, come on, Obsidian's Knights of the Old Republic 2: The Sith Lords is still a strong Star Wars title, and can easily count itself among the best games to have been published during LucasArts' golden age in the early noughties. Released just 1 year after the first KOTOR, but set 5 years after the events of the first game, KOTOR 2 puts players in the shoes of the Exile, a Jedi Knight who had been expelled by the Jedi Order for reasons unknown. With the Sith dominant and the Republic in tatters, it falls to the player and their party to rebuild the Jedi Order, restore freedom to the galaxy, and encounter yet another doozy of a plot twist in the final act. It's no Revan reveal, but it's still a real zinger. KOTOR 2 has found itself consistently ignored by sheer virtue of it not being its predecessor, which stinks. Yes, it's probably not as innovative as a sequel should be, and the sheer number of glitches were a major pain in the butt too, but at the end of the day, it's more of the KOTOR we all know and love. Isn't that a good thing? Number 9. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. One of the absolute best things about Star Wars video games is the breadth of genres the franchise has covered. While today players have grown more accustomed to a litany of third-person action-adventure titles and first-person shooters, when LucasArts was at its peak, Star Wars had its mariny tentacles in just about every genre, including racing games. There were quite a few Star Wars racing games, the notorious Bombad Racing among them, but arguably the best was Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. It had a sequel, Racer's Revenge, which was also pretty great, but it doesn't quite top the original. Recently re-released on the PS4, Episode 1 Racer was one of many games released to tie into the premiere of The Phantom Menace in 1991 and adapted one of the film's most exciting elements: pod racing. Featuring a roster of different races, speeders, and planets, and even including the talents of Jake Lloyd, Anakin Skywalker, and Lewis McLeod, Sebulba, Racer became the best-selling sci-fi racing title and provided fans with a fantastic look into a fascinating new aspect of the Star Wars mythos. Number 8. Star Wars Jedi Knight: Jedi Academy. To this day, only a select few Star Wars titles have ever managed to get lightsabers truly right. Limb dismemberment is a frequent headache with ratings boards, and developers constantly have to walk the tightrope of making lightsabers feel super powerful, but not at the expense of challenge or difficulty. While Respawn's Jedi Fallen Order arguably offers the most compelling lightsaber experience on consoles, it's still not quite as authentic as the one on display in Raven Software's Jedi Knight series, which featured limb dismemberment, different fighting styles, and a bevy of customization options for players to get stuck into. The studio's 2003 effort, Jedi Academy, may lack the storytelling strengths of its predecessor, Jedi Outcast, but it more than makes up for that by building upon the previous game's already stellar combat system with more lightsabers, more enemies, and more duels. It also gave the player the chance to build their own Jedi Knight with a limited but adequate selection of face, body, and clothing options. Plus lightsabers. How could you possibly forget the lightsabers? There have been plenty of cinematic Star Wars offerings, but no game will make you feel more like a Jedi than Academy does when you're taking on multiple Sith at once, delivering slow-mo kills with backflips, lightsaber throws, and, should you indulge your darker side, Force lightning too. Number 7. Star Wars Republic Commando. Where do I even start with this? A video game so beloved by fans, the leads were brought into the new Star Wars canon with the Clone Wars TV show. LucasArts' Republic Commando released in quite possibly the best Star Wars year ever in 2005, which saw the release of several other Star Wars titles, plus the concluding chapter of the prequel trilogy with Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Republic Commando wasn't your bog-standard FPS title though. A tactical shooter that had more in common with Ubisoft's classic Rainbow Six titles than Call of Duty or Battlefield, the game put players in the shoes of an elite commando unit in the Grand Army of the Republic, commanding a team of 3 other clones as they go behind enemy lines and carry out top-secret missions. The game had a fantastic sense of scale and atmosphere, and a surprisingly engaging story. Plus, it made the battle droids of the prequels a genuine threat, with super battle droids and droidicars requiring special attention, and different engagements requiring you to manage your squad properly. Republic Commando is something of a bittersweet title though, with the story ending on a huge cliffhanger that leaves the fate of one of your squad mates up in the air. Don't worry, Sev, we haven't forgotten about you. Number 6. LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. Starting with 2005's LEGO Star Wars the video game, which adapted the prequel trilogy, TT Games have developed 4 LEGO Star Wars games in total, with a 5th one due to arrive in 2021, with the best has to be the 3rd, which compiled the first 2 releases into one nifty package. Featuring both the prequels and the original trilogy together for the first time, plus some minor improvements and the addition of online co-op, which has been strangely absent from other LEGO offerings, the Complete Saga is a love letter both to Star Wars and LEGO, one that also helped to define the signature LEGO humor that's since become a hallmark of the company, both in and out of video games. Number 5. Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader. There was a strong argument to be made that Star Wars Squadron should take a place in this list, given its dead to rights the most immersive starfighter experience you could hope to find, particularly if you have VR. But come on, there was only ever going to be one starfighter title in the top tier of Star Wars games, and that's Factor 5's Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader. An improvement over the original and still superior to the misjudged Rebel Strike, Rogue Leader let players take control of a myriad of iconic Star Wars starfighters as either Luke Skywalker or cult favourite Wedge Antilles, commanding the rest of Rogue Squadron as they partake in all the famous battles of the original trilogy, plus some extras. Number 4. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. The first single-player Star Wars title in almost a decade, yeah, there was a lot riding on Respawn's Jedi Fallen Order when it released in 2019. EA had bungled the launch of 2 Star Wars games, both of them entries in the Battlefront franchise, and had cancelled about as many single-player titles since taking on the Star Wars license in 2013. They needed a win, and Fallen Order had to deliver, if nothing else than to prove to EA that story-driven Star Wars games were still worth pursuing. And deliver it did. Despite rocking a few gnarly bugs and a lack of polish in certain areas, Respawn made a truly compelling Star Wars title that featured a brilliant story and combat made in the Souls-esque mold. Assuming the role of Padawan fugitive Cal Kestis, played by a charming Cameron Monaghan, as he attempts to rebuild the Jedi Order with compatriots BD-1, Seer Junda, and the cantankerous Grease Dritus, who really likes Yaddle, Fallen Order whisks the player from planet to planet, delivering a mature story that sees Kestis reckon with the trauma of Order 66, as well as his place in a galaxy dominated by the Empire. Number 3. Star Wars Battlefront 2 2005. For all that 2017 Star Wars Battlefront 2 did mount an all-timer of a comeback, one that finally delivered on the promise of an epic current-gen Star Wars title, neither of DICE's efforts come close to surpassing the 2 original Battlefronts from Pandemic Studios in 2004 and 2005. Both the original Star Wars Battlefront and its sequel are Star Wars royalty, They captured the scale and suspense of the franchise's greatest battles and were both seriously fun to play, combining land and starfighter combat to great effect with various classes for players to choose and master. Of the two though, the sequel is still the superior offering. While several maps from the first game were removed, Pandemic added several others and allowed players to actually take on the role of different heroes from the franchise. Battlefront 2 might be close to 2 decades old, but there isn't a Star Wars shooter that's able to match it. Number 2. Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast. Despite Jedi Academy improving on pretty much every aspect of Jedi Outcast gameplay-wise, its predecessor takes some beating. Co-developed by Raven Software and Vicarious Visions, Jedi Outcast was built on the Quake engine and still provides just about the most definitive Jedi experience in gaming history. It also features an icon in the lead in Kyle Katarn, a character who made his debut in 1995 Star Wars Dark Forces and who went on to become one of the more beloved characters in the old Star Wars expanded universe. Following a more linear path than its sequel, which allowed players the freedom to tackle certain missions in a specific order, Jedi Outcast tells the story of Katarn's journey back to the Force as he tracks down an evil Sith cult in league with the Imperial Remnant. Both Jedi Outcast and Academy have been remastered in recent years, and they've aged surprisingly well. Must-plays for Star Wars fans, old and new. And number 1, Knights of the Old Republic. Could it be anything else? BioWare's masterful RPG remains the greatest Star Wars game of all time, and one well worth seeking out if you can play it, and also even if you know the big reveal. It's actually quite difficult to overstate the significance of the first KOTOR. Not only did it provide gaming with one of its greatest RPGs, it also changed the Star Wars mythos on a fundamental level. The Old Republic era may no longer be canon in terms of how it was depicted in these games, but there's a reason why newer Star Wars literature and media has taken so much inspiration from them, and indeed looks set to revisit them in the future. Revan, Malak, Bastila Shan, and HK-47 are all icons of the galaxy far, far away, even close to 20 years on from the first game's release. That's a testament to just how brilliant KOTOR's story was, never mind the compelling turn-based combat system, dialogue trees, and other gameplay opportunities in the title. And that was our list on the 10 greatest Star Wars games of all time. Let me know your favourite Star Wars titles in the comments below, and why not go check out WhatCulture Star Wars? It's a brand new channel dedicated to everything related to the galaxy far, far away. That's all for now though. I've been Ewan, take care, and may the Force be with you.